Hey, Katrina here from Scrappy Horses. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so happy you're here. I'm celebrating my 10-year anniversary on YouTube. So I decided I wanted to, again, jump the shark, as I oftentimes do, with a card with several unusual ideas. So let's get started. Here's the finished card. It's this little dachshund, and he's sitting on top of a thank you card. But as you can see, I have Copic colored him, and he started out looking like this. So one of the things I want to address in this video is how I got this die cut to become a piece that I could Copic color, and it ends up looking like this. The second thing I wanted to look at in my video today are these leaves here from Valentina Scuteri. So we're going to talk about that also. I'm also using this Thanks from Winter Woodland. Everything I'm using today is in the Cricut images. You will find them there, or in the shapes. I've listed this YouTube video. It's another video I have done about the process of turning these images into a background. This video is even more complex. So if you think this would be a fun idea and you want to try something even harder, this is a video you might want to check out. For now, let's just sort of put that aside. Let's start with this adorable dachshund puppy. I'm not even going to attempt to say the name of this person. I'm sure I would never say it correctly. So that I don't insult anyone, I just won't say it. I'll just point out that the name is right here. So if you're looking for this cute little dachshund puppy, you will find him over in images, over here on the left-hand side of your screen. All right. So let's just move him down here so we have some space to work. So the first thing I'm going to do with my puppy is I'm going to take away these extraneous leaves. They're very, very cute, but as you can see up here, I did not use them. So let's come back down, and to get rid of those, all I need to do is come over to shapes, bring in any shape you like. I'm going to bring in an oval. And I'm just going to bring in 3 of those, and I'll bring in a square just in case I need it. And I'm just going to take this, and I can change the size, and I just want to lay it over this without touching any of my puppy or plant. Now, one thing I can do to make this a little easier is I can change this to a yellow here. I can move it to the back, and now I can see that it's covering my entire leaf, but it is not covering my puppy or pumpkin. So now I can come in with my mouse, select it, come over to the right-hand panel, left click, slice. I'm going to move my puppy out. You can see that's gone. I'm going to come in. I'm going to do the same thing again. Let's just turn this bright yellow so we can see. I'm going to just kind of twist this around. I do that by just getting the little curved arrow there, and then I can move it around to get the angle that I like. I'm going to bring this in, left click, send to the back. I've got it. I select and slice again. I'm going to go ahead and pick up all of this, move it over here. Now you might be wondering why I don't just do it all at once. Can only slice out one piece at a time. And we're going to slice that one out. I'm going to get rid of all of this. Hitting delete on my keyboard. We have one more leaf there. I almost forgot. Let's go ahead and grab that. Let's turn this one yellow. I want to make sure I got all of it. We're going to grab it all and slice. And we'll select this. Another way to delete is to right click and come down here and click delete. Now we're going to select our image, come up to offset, make sure it is at 0, and hit apply. Now we're going to take this offset. We're going to come down here where it says contour. We're going to get rid of all of the contours. Obviously, we do not want to get rid of this contour, obviously, right? Now, for some reason, there's this right here. See how that's a hole right there? I don't want that hole. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm coming over to shapes. You can bring in, I'm going to bring in an oval. Let's make this really big so we can see. Again, I'm going to curve that around. I'm going to make this smaller. And I'm just going to set it in to close up this gap. Again, just to make it really easy to see, I'm going to turn it that bright yellow. And I'm going to move it to the back. And now I'm going to take my puppy. And what I'm doing is I just want to make sure that I'm connecting right there. So you can see how this is connecting right here. Now I'm going to take the whole thing. I'm going to come down here to combine, left click, and weld it. Now it's yellow. That's okay. We'll change it. We're going to change it to white anyway. We're going to bring this in. We're going to bring it to the front. We're going to align it center. But before we do that, I want to change this to an incredibly light color. So let's go find it. Let's go with maybe this. Go advanced. Pull all the way over to the left. See how I've just got that cream color now? I may even want to go a little further. But see how inside the pumpkin now is white? I've got the outline of his nose. I've got this outline of his ears. That's all going to show up as white. Now I'm going to come in. I'm going to select it all. I'm going to come over to the right-hand panel and I'm going to click flatten. I understand this is really hard to see on your screen, I'm sure. When you actually print this, you'll be able to see the difference. Now we're going to take this. We're going to come up and hit offset again. Let's offset it up. You can offset it as much as you like. I'm going to offset it about 0.056. I'm going to hit apply. And I'm going with like this leafy green color. Okay. It's very, very light. And in fact, I think I'm going to go even lighter than that. About like that. And I'm going to take the whole thing again and flatten. And now this is the piece that I'm going to color. Now you'll notice here that my dog is a little longer. All I did is I just stretched him down a little bit and squished him in a little bit. All right, because I wanted him to sit on the card this way. Let's address the thanks. All right, so let's just go back and let's grab a shape. We're going to make this 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So 5.5 for the width. I'm typing this in at my keyboard. 4.25 for my height. That's the card base. And I did this, I believe I did it in this color. We're going to send it to the back. Then I brought in my next piece, which I did at 5.22 by 3.97. All right, so I'm just going to copy that. There it is. Bring that down. And then this layer is 5.03 by 3.76. I'm going to do a Command Copy Command V on that one also. But I promise I'm going to show you how to do this. All right, I'm just going to bring it down here. Now what I'm going to do is bring this on down, unflatten it, pull my white paper away, and we're going to get rid of all of this. Now, here we have our puppy. We're going to bring him to the front. There we go. And then I have my thanks. All right, so let's bring that down. We're going to make that a little smaller so he fits in there nicely. And I want to back that. I think I used a curved piece for that right here. So what I did is I just pulled this piece right here. I did an inset, so we're going to come up here to offset, but instead of offset, we're going to inset. Keep your curve, apply. And this one measures 2.21 by 1.41. So we're going to select them both. I'm going to come up here and just type in 2.21. And our height over here is 1411. So the height here, 1411. I'm typing this at my keyboard. Let's just bring this down here. I'm going to stick it in about right there. We're going to turn the outside. That is going to be a basic cut. It's going to be the same brown we have here. Then I'm going to turn this piece, this gray piece, white. We're going to turn our thanks while we're here. Let's turn that blue there. Going to bring it into the front. Make it larger. There we go. And we're going to select the white, and I'm going to hold my shift key and select this, the thanks. See how they're both selected? Come down here to the bottom and flatten. All right, now all we have left to do really is talk about how we got this leafy piece. So let's talk about it. As you can see, we have this piece that I've done in just one color, and then we have these pieces that I did in a variety of colors. I went searching in images for a group of leaves. I just typed in leaves, and I found this from Valentina Scuteri. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and rotate this 90. You can also type in 90 here, whichever is easier for you. Let's go ahead and bring this down to an empty spot. Let's bring the piece of paper we want to use down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this piece. I'm going to duplicate it. So now I have a second piece. If I go into this, you'll notice that this piece, let's find it here. See right here where it says leaf pattern? If I click right here, you can see all the leaves. It is a group of leaves. So I can take this, I can ungroup it, and that separates all these leaves. So now I can bring these in and I can do things differently. So, for example, I can do the same thing here. This is a group. I'm going to come up here to this, click it, and now it is ungrouped. Now I can move them all separately. I can twist them around. I can do with them whatever I like. I can change the sizes of them because now they're all individual. Now I'm going to start pulling from the other group. At any time, you can bring this piece of paper down. Let's move it to the back, and you can begin to see what you're going to get. And if you like what you're getting, if you feel like enough is covered, if you feel like you want some leaves smaller, bigger, you can change some things around. So let's make this one a little smaller. Let's make this one smaller. Move it up, move this one in. You can play with this all day long. And I'll admit, I get a little carried away and I keep going and going, and it's like, oh, I can't get this. Yeah, it can take as long as you want it to take. You can just keep playing. You can also pull your puppy down at any point and see, Okay, how is my puppy going to look on that? Is he going to look right, or do these leaves look way too big? If you think, oh, these leaves look way too big, you can come in, scoop over the whole thing, size them down a little bit. Then start bringing in some more. All right, so let's bring our paper back down again. Let's see what we think. I'm not worried about color right now because I can change all of that too. Okay, I think this will be fine. So now I'm going to start thinking about my color. All right, so I'm going to bring this down for a second just so I can sort of see. I chose to go with these three in kind of a red color. So I'm going to go ahead and on my keyboard, I'm going to hit Shift. I'm going to click on those three. I'm going to come up here to this little question mark here. And I'm going to tell it I want all of those that color. That's how easy that is, okay? Hit my Shift key. And I want these. They're already that color. These fun little ones here. I only have a couple of them on this one. So I may want to change that. All right, I'm going to take this, and this. I'm going to turn them all this color of blue. So again, I'm coming up to the little question mark there, and I'm pulling that blue. And I think it's actually this one. All right, now this green guy, I also did him in blue on this one, but you know what? Let's keep him there. Now we're going to come in. We're going to scoop it all together like this, and we're going to flatten. All right, now you have two choices. If you are an impatient crafter and you don't like lots of particulars here, this may not be for you. You may want to just print it like this, take it to your paper slicer, and just slice off what you're not going to use. If you're sort of the picky, meticulous type, you might want to come over here, grab a square, bring it in. Okay, so we're going to try to make this as simple as possible. We're going to take this, we're going to unflatten it. We're going to come back and get our white square. I want this white square at exactly 8 by 18.5. Now I'm going to bring this in and I'm going to position it at exactly 6. I'm doing this at my keyboard. I know it's 2 inches, so I can position it at 6. It should come over to 8. And now I'm going to come in, I'm going to select, and I'm just selecting this red and this black. So you can come over here and see, I've selected red and I've selected black. Those are the two that are selected. Now I can slice that. Now I'm going to come in, I'm going to run this along, and I'm going to select the black and this turquoise. Slice. Now I'm going to come in and select this orange and this black. I'm going to slice. Now I'm going to come down just right inside of this, and I'm going to pull it all away. Now while I'm here, I'm just going to take this, combine, weld. Okay, I just did that so I would have another rectangle to put on this side. Right now we're going to come in, we're going to bump right across against that piece of paper. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to come across, I'm going to try to get that orange leaf, slice, get this orange leaf, slice, and I'm going to get this green leaf. I'm going to slice that out. I'm going to go ahead and grab this part of the red and slice that out. I'm going to come down just like I did before, pull that away. Whoops. Notice how I didn't get it, so I came back and hit my back button. I'm going to come back. There we go. I got it now. Combine, weld, pull it away. I'm going to rotate this 90, so I'm coming up here to rotate. I'm going to hit my 9, return, pull this in. Now this is going to be easy again because I know that this is sitting at, my square is sitting at 18.5, so I can put this one at 16.5. There we go. I'm going to nudge it over, and then I'm just going to pull it over a little bit. I'm going to come in, and again, I'm going to select this yellow with this orange, slice, this sort of teal turquoise with that, slice, the brown, slice, and the red, slice. I'm going to come in. I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to combine, weld, and I'm going to pull it all away. And now I'm going to get the bottom. We're going to do the same thing again, except we're going to go from the bottom this time. We're going to grab the orange, and we're going to slice, grab the brown. Oops, we didn't quite grab that. Slice, grab the red, slice. You can sort of see right here where it's slicing it out. And this piece, slice. Now we simply come in, grab it all, don't move anything, grab it all and flatten, and we're done. We can just dispose of this by hitting delete, and we're done. Wasn't that easy? And so now we're going to go ahead and slide this in. Actually, before we slide it in, we're going to hit Command C, Command V on the keyboard. I'm on a Mac, by the way, so all I did was make a copy. I can right click and then left click, duplicate, and that'll give you another one. Right, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to make it smaller. This is going to be for the inside of my card. All right, so you can tell it's a little bit smaller. Then we're going to take this piece. We're going to come over, grab some shapes. We're going to grab this. Going to bring it in. Going to turn it white. I want to make it a little bigger. I'm going to do an offset. This time I'll pull to the right. I hit apply. Let's turn that nice dark brown. Let's go with this brown. Let's take this entire thing, come up to align, center, choose it all, flatten. And there's the inside of your card. Now, you might be thinking, but wait, on the inside of your card, you had a little bit of something in there. Yes, I did. What I did is I brought this to the front. Let's make it a little smaller there. And kind of stuck this in here. And let's bring this one in. And let's just bring it to the front. Bring it down here, like so. And let's take this and let's make it really, really light. So if I want to write a message here and some of my writing goes over these, you'll be able to see the writing. All right, so we'll just come into advanced, just bring it down here, get this guy, go to advanced, oops, and bring it more down into here maybe. Now take all of that, flatten, there. So now these are very light. They're not big and bold like these. All right, wow, we covered a lot in this Cricut video. A lot. Let's go back up to where we started here. Here I did the leaves much smaller, gave a little more space. Here they're bigger and bolder with a little less space. That's going to be up to personal preference, what you like. I know this was a lot of information in a somewhat brief amount of time for as much information as we covered. If there are any comments or questions, please leave them below. I am more than happy to do another video to answer any questions that I may not have covered well in this one. So just let me know what you need and I will be happy to address those questions. Let's go on over to the craft table. Let's put this together. So here we are at the craft table and I have all of my things together. ATG, some fabric tack. I always use both and we'll talk about that later in the video. I also have some brown grosgrain ribbon, some dots from Close to My Heart, long retired. And here are the pieces that we printed, the thanks and the leaf pages. Some brown cardstock, our little brown layering piece. And here's the piece after I cut it, and here it is after I colored it. Here's our card base. Let's get started. First, let's score this at 4 1/4. So we ended up with 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch. I'm going to go ahead and put in the inside sentiment piece. I'm going to go ahead and ink up my edges there and then add my leaf layer to the front with my brown layering piece. Now I use fabric tack as well as a little bit of ATG. Then if I need to slide something, I usually can. I could not in this case. In this case, I just used it for some extra stick. I'm going to come in and add a little bit of ink to my layering piece for the thanks, as well as the thanks piece. I use chocolate and juniper. Now here's a place where, yes, I'm going to be able to slide this one around. So if I don't get it exactly in the middle, I can slide this a little bit. Just gives me a little bit of wiggle room. And I'm going to do this a little bit cattywampus anyway, so it really doesn't matter. Now I'm going to cut a little bit of that grosgrain ribbon, and I'm just going to bend it over, and I'm going to place a stamp block on top of it to hold it down. I'm bringing in a cereal box. I'm tracing underneath my puppy, and I'm doing this to give it a little bit of dimension so it will sit on top of that ribbon. So I had to cut 2 pieces because I wanted a double layer. I went ahead and glued those together, and now I will adhere them to the back of my colored puppy. I'm going to use a little bit of fabric tack as well as a little bit of ATG. Once I get those in place on the back, then I will let that dry just a little bit. Then I'm going to add ATG as well as glue and adhere the puppy to the front of the card over the tag. So there's the little thanks tag with the little ribbon. I'm using just a little bit of double stick tape there. And there's my puppy going over the top. A little bit of glue there. I'm going to come in with those dots now. And I'm just sort of deciding which ones I want. I'm going to use 3 of them, and I'm choosing some fall colors that will complement my card, putting them somewhat in a triangle. Now, if you watch many of my videos, you know that if the gems are out, we're at the end of the video. Thanks so much for hanging with me to the end. This was a long project. Any comments or questions, please leave them below. I'm happy to get back with you. See you in the next one. Bye.